Hello there and welcome to this week's Media News with me, Gareth O'Connor. A couple of big hacks to start things off this week. LinkedIn last week, 6.46 million passwords were stolen and posted on a Russian website, so if you happen to have a LinkedIn account, I would probably just change your password to be on the safe side. And if you happen to be using the eHarmony dating website, 1.5 million password was stolen by the same hacker. So again, if you're on there, I would change your password. An interesting geeky fact for you, yes indeed. Last week the internet switched, it'll be a slow process, but from IP version 4 to IPv6. Why? To create more addresses. The internet will now have 340 trillion unique addresses. It's quite something. For anyone that cares, I think this looks right, but that's how many. Yeah, it's quite a lot. What's next in tech? This is a very nice visual display of what's next in tech, and it can be found here, envisionintech.com. But a couple of things to note. 2012. So global online population is 2 billion connected devices now. The online population is 2 billion. Connected devices is 10 billion. And the worldwide population is 7 billion. Goes to show how many connected devices are now on the planet. It's quite something, really. By 2015, population will be slightly over 7 billion, but it'll be 15 billion connected devices. So you gotta say 2 devices for every person on the planet, which is unbelievable. By 2019, the online population will have doubled to 4 to 5 billion people. Connected devices will be 30 to 50 billion. So that's 3 to 4 connected devices for every single person on the planet, which is just phenomenal. And then by 2020, online population will be the world population will be 8 billion. The petabyte will be your normal storage. And the BRIC countries will actually overtake the G8 in terms of gross domestic product, which is quite something. But it goes to show the unbelievable rise in connected devices from now over the course of the next sort of 5 to 8 years. An introduction to Pocket. Yes, indeed. This is kind of cool for all of you people who have a smartphone and tablet. This used to be called Read It Later, but they've changed it now to Pocket. I guess you can keep everything in your pocket. But this is kind of cool. Put articles, videos, or pretty much anything into your pocket. Anything you see anywhere on the web, you can just click Read It Later, and it'll be, whether it's videos, whether it's content, and it will put it into your Pocket account, and you can then, of course, use it. Access it later, which is kind of cool. Another introduction for you, yes. Not too sure how big this is going to be, but you never know. The Napstar co-founders have just launched Airtime, which kind of looks like this. It's kind of part online chat, part online video chat, part chat roulette. But really it's Facebook video calling meets chat roulette, where you can chat, share, watch, and listen with friends and like-minded individuals. And of course, like chat roulette, you can obviously just speak to people you don't know but who have similar interests. Like this fella who happened to bump into Mr. Zuckerberg there. But it didn't last very long. I think about 30 seconds before Mr. Zucker went next. Facebook engagement dips. Speaking about Facebook, according to a new US study anyway. The survey conducted by Reuters and Ipsos found that 35% of users are using the site less, which is pretty big numbers, but then of course they also found that 20% said they used it more. So, about 15% decline, you could say, in the people using this site as much. But of course they're still using it, so you know it's not that bad news. But what they did find interestingly is that 44%, because of the IPO and what happened with the IPO, 44% of people are viewing Facebook less favorably than they did before. Kind of something. Some good news for Facebook though, perhaps. Facebook have finally launched ads on mobile. They did have, back obviously in February, they launched, sponsored stories. If you did the sponsored story on the desktop, it would roll out across mobile and appear in people's mobile news feeds. But now, they're about to launch sponsored story ads which you can just target to mobile users, which is kind of good, specifically when you think that 50% of users, on average, in some countries it's higher, are logging in via mobile, so it's kind of cool. Amex. Speaking about Facebook, Amex have kind of found themselves in a very enviable position when it comes to data. I did say this was going to be a big thing this year. You know, the big data is obviously one of the big trends for this year and next year. But of course, Amex have found themselves in a very enviable position, particularly in the States, because they have, card member, merchant, and transaction data. So, of course, they can follow what the card member is doing right through to merchants, right through to closing the sale. So it gives them a greater opportunity to target card members with specific offers and deals and anything that, of course, will interest them, because it gets to the point where Amex will know more about you almost than you will know about you. But this is a similar sort of thing that Facebook are kind of in an enviable position. They just need to nut out how they're going to do it, because this year, of course, is a year when data will take center stage. And it's something that Facebook can certainly do more with, because when you think about it, Facebook currently is just a one-way ad business. 82% of its revenue comes from ads. So if you look at their database, they make about $5 a year for every person that's on there. Not a lot of money, really, when you think about it. If you think of the Herald here, the NZ Herald, you buy a couple of Heralds a week, and that's more than $5. So you don't make a lot of money out of their user base at the moment, but they could. When you think about it, they know pretty much everything about you. What you're planning to do, where you're going, and when, and why, and with whom. And I know there'll be a lot of stuff going on in Facebook headquarters as how they can actually monetize this and target people better. But think about it. They could target the right brands and products to all of this. And when you need them, when you want them, when you're about to buy anyway. And that's kind of, if you think about advertising utopia. How they will do this, I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough, unfortunately. But there's a wealth of opportunity there for them, that's for sure. In other Facebook news, they've just launched an app center. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the point of this is, to be honest with you. But they've launched an app center, and they've said you'll only see high-quality apps in the app center based on user ratings and engagement. They're launching with around 600 social apps, including things like Nike Plus, GPS, Ubisoft Ghost Recon Commander, Stitcher Radio, Draw Something, and Pinterest. Again, though, I'm not too sure because you've got the Android App Store, and of course you've got the iTunes App Store. Again, this is just another sort of app store where you still have to go to Android or Apple to buy the product. So I'm not entirely sure what this. I mean, granted, if you're new to a smartphone, it's a good place to go to get recommendations. And see what your friends are buying, but not sure how big that'll be. You may well remember last week I spoke about social, mobile, local, kind of a new buzz phrase. Everything has to be social, everything has to be connected to mobile, and everything has to be connected to the local vicinity, be it people or places, offers. One of the biggest game publishers is thinking the same, although their local is more global, but EA, last week's E3 conference, they've said now they are moving to social, mobile, and their thing is we're social, mobile, and always evolving. But the social and mobile element of that is kind of a sign of things to come. But they are now pushing into social gaming and tablets, and of course the cloud. But social gaming is a vast, vast, vast marketplace where unbelievable sums of money are being made. I have to look at Zynga and Farmville, and when you think of mobile, think of Angry Birds and all those things. It's a huge marketplace. Something else from E3 from you. Microsoft have just launched Smart Glass.
This morning, I'm excited to introduce you to a breakthrough in entertainment that makes all your devices work together intelligently. A breakthrough called Xbox Smart Glass. Now let's see how Xbox Smart Glass transforms the way I experience TV. Xbox favorites. Game of Thrones. Play. When I watch Game of Thrones on HBO Go, one of the things I've always wanted is a way of knowing where things are taking place in Westeros. That my device would know Jon Snow is riding north beyond the wall, providing me that information without interrupting the actual episode. And with Smart Glass, my tablet now provides me a map that is actually following the sequence of the show as I'm watching it on television. No matter where I am in the episode, my smart device truly takes on the role of an intelligent companion that pulls me deeper into the experience. This is the magic of Smart Glass.
Very cool. Again, a sign of things to come, but wonderful second screen platform. And it's something that more and more people are going to start, particularly when you can give people a richer experience across two screens. Here's a very smart recruitment idea. I like.
If you have a Trojan horse as your company logo, you're recruiting employees the Trojan way too. Young Fun Map was looking for art directors with a unique place for a job offer, their own layouts. 50,000 creative people from all over the world generate their dummy text on Lipsum.com on a daily basis. For 1 week, they got a big surprise. When pasting the copied text into their layouts, our job offer appeared. Via the link, potential applicants were sent to our landing page. More than 220,000 users copied our job offer into the layouts. 14,000 users clicked the link and had a look at our website. The campaign created a big buzz in the social web and the press. There has never been a job offer that was more personal and more polarizing.
Kind of cool and a smart way to use digital. But a great way to get really targeted. And a lovely way to deliver something slightly different. Online clothes shopping is on the rise and has been significantly. And it's doing wonders for online retailers, but not such a good thing for bricks and mortar retailers. But here's a new thing. FitsMe is a virtual fitting room for online clothing retailers that lets shoppers try on clothes from their own computer. Kind of my bugbear with shopping for clothes online is you can't try things on. Whereas this you kind of can. You input your measurements and a robotic mannequin adjusts in shape and size, allowing you to map out how an item would look on yourself. So you put in all your exact measurements and it will, I mean, it's kind of cool in that respect because you get to see exactly how the clothes will look. But certainly a good thing that certain big retailers are trialing it, particularly in the UK and US. But it's a platform that any retailer could use, any clothing retailer could use. But it's a very nice one. I like it. Speaking of online shopping, the number of online shoppers in New Zealand has now reached over 1.6 million people. And of course it rises. Nearly half of all people who are online are now shopping online, which is great. That's an increase of 122,000 in the previous year. The number of customers who purchased 6 or more items in the past year has increased by 21%, which is big. But those buying 11 or more items has grown by 38%, which is huge. It would be quite interesting actually to see how much of that is offshore as opposed to kept within New Zealand. But saying things to come, it's only going to rise further. A nice and simple idea for you. I like this very much. This is the world's highest water slide. And within a banner, they created a very long and very high banner, which kind of started like this, and you had to scroll down. You're not going to get the effect on it here, but you had to keep scrolling when you interacted with the banner. Scroll, 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 and as you went, it continued on, and you ended up, splash, in the water. Very nice idea, but it scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. But as you scrolled, it kind of speeded up, and you landed in water. Very nice idea. Speaking of interesting banners, I like this one too. BMW, for the X3, they launched the world's biggest banner. This is what it is. It started as a 300 by 250, but it expanded when you moused over to a whopping 18,000 pixels high. That's 20 feet with more than 5,500 words of copy. Kind of cool. I like it. Everything's going mobile. Yes, indeed, everything is going mobile. And people laughed when I said cars will join in.
The all-new Chevy Sonic with the My Chevrolet app. From close call to best night ever, Chevy runs deep.
Yep, apps for cars. It's the next big thing. Speaking of mobile, end of research has shown smartphones in a simultaneous use with other media. I'm surprised PC laptops are so hard, but now 63% of smartphone users are using their smartphone whilst watching television. That's pretty high. According to IBNZ, smartphone penetration is currently at 30% within New Zealand. I think it's probably, I almost think it's a little higher than that. But anyway, it's expected to reach 50% by the end of this year. If you're not thinking about mobile, start thinking about mobile. And lastly, for me this week, the power of good advertising and a good idea. This is a case study I saw over the weekend, and a wonderful one it is.
In 2010, American Express created Small Business Saturday, a new shopping day right after Black Friday to help small businesses get what they needed most: more customers. But for 2011, the goal was clear: make Small Business Saturday more than just a one-off event and cement its place as an official shopping day during the holiday season. American Express couldn't do that single-handedly, so they rallied business owners, consumers, and public officials to help. First, they gave small business owners a toolkit to carry the day. American Express armed them with everything they'd need, from a Shop Small badge, to posters, to social marketing tools. This digital kit featured a YouTube video maker for businesses to make their own ads, a Facebook page builder, and a way to launch online deals through Foursquare. Over 500,000 owners took advantage. Next, American Express reached out to get public officials on board. Communities and states from coast to coast declared their support. Even the Senate stepped up and passed a resolution declaring Small Business Saturday an official day, unanimously. Finally, American Express rallied millions of shoppers to join the movement by finding local businesses and pledging to make one small purchase.
I pledge to shop small at Big Top Candy Shop.
Allen's Boots.
At Juno Baby Store.
Make the pledge to shop small.
Please.
Shop small on Small Business Saturday.
So how big was it?
20% increase.
Our sales were up about 30%.
166% increase from last year.
In the end, it became a top 10 trending topic on Twitter. The second annual Small Business Saturday reached 2.7 million likes on Facebook, more than double the first year. Most importantly, 103 million Americans shop small, from California to Washington, D.C.
This is Small Business Saturday, so we're out here supporting small businesses.
In just over a year, Small Business Saturday went from a day that didn't exist to a permanent fixture on the holiday shopping calendar. See you next year.
All started from a wonderful idea and executed perfectly through every channel. A really great example of the power of advertising and a good idea. And that's it from me, and I will see you next week.